I wasn't sure about this paddle at first, but after putting a little bit of weight and a lot of trust, I took it into a tournament and came home with the W. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a review on the brand new Aura paddle from Friday Pickleball. I was lucky enough to get my hands on this pretty early. I've had this for about 2 or almost 3 weeks. I was part of the beta test program, and first off I want to thank Friday Pickleball for really giving me the opportunity to do that. I really enjoyed this paddle and I'm very thankful for you guys to be able to send me this and get some playtime on it pretty early. And if you guys are interested in getting this paddle, they're going to be releasing their wide body and hybrid shapes. This is their elongated, but in both the Aura and Aura Pro, they're releasing all 3 shapes. So if you would like, I've got a discount code. It's going to save you $5 off the purchase price. I'll leave that on screen and in the description. Like I said, if you're interested, go check them out. These paddles will surprise you. So in the review, going to go down a little bit of the paddle construction, power control, how it played on court, and what really impressed me coming from this paddle. So I know I usually talk about the construction, but I actually haven't heard anything directly from Friday about the exact type of construction, the exact type of foam. It is a foam paddle, it's a Gen 4 paddle, but I don't know exactly what all goes into it. I know this is still pretty new, and I don't think Friday's actually released it to be purchased yet. I think that's going to be coming in on March 1st possibly. If there's any corrections, I'll put them on screen. Don't want to give you guys any incorrect information. I want to be as honest as possible, but in my opinion, it doesn't feel like it's MPP. It's definitely not as deep sounding or thonky as some people might say, but it does feel more of like a EPP type of foam. I could be wrong. If there's anything that I find out before I upload this, I'll give you guys a little bit on-screen information if there's any corrections to me. I do know that they have some sort of a trademark Elastec that they put on the outside edge of the paddle under the edge guard. It's supposed to broaden the sweet spot and give a little bit more stability to the paddle. That's really the only thing that I've heard as of now. But overall, the paddle doesn't feel like it was constructed poorly or put together really cheaply to just try and get something out. It feels like they actually put a lot of time into making this paddle and trying to get it as perfect as possible. So some first impressions, really the first things that jumped out at me, with the beta test program, they only came in one color. I do see that they have a couple other colors that look really cool, which I want to see and maybe try out in the future. But honestly, the first things that jumped out at me were the face texture, and on court, especially the Aura. I didn't get the Aura Pro, but the Aura especially wasn't extremely poppy, which I really enjoyed. I think it felt great off the rip. Really, there was a little bit of break-in period after I first started playing with it. Whenever I first got it, I was just hitting some softer shots, but once I started hitting some drives, it really started to break in and become a little bit softer. Definitely not control paddle soft, but a little bit softer, open up that sweet spot a little bit. And like I said, the face texture was something that really impressed me. It was really a lot grittier than their Fever 101 or the 102, which I've played with both, and this definitely feels like a different type of face texture than they've used before. And honestly, in my opinion, Friday does a pretty good job of keeping the graphics simple but also unique. I actually really like the way that they designed this. I think it looks pretty sleek, pretty simple. Like I said, simple and clean is more of my style, and I actually think they did a pretty good job. Alright, so jumping it off with power, I actually think this thing has a pretty good amount of power. I think it's definitely more powerful than the Fever 101, which I used for about 3 months, and then a lot more powerful than the Fever 102. I haven't hit the elongated 102, so that might be a little bit skewed information, but from what I've used and what I've seen from the past 2 paddles that Friday's released, this definitely has a lot more power. It's definitely more of a the more power you put into it, the more power you're going to get out, similar to some type of controller all court paddles, but it just has a lot more power behind it than those other paddles. So now jumping into the control of the paddle. Out of this, I think control is one of the things that really stood out most to me. I know the Aura Pro might offer a little bit more power than just the regular Aura, but the control is just one of the things that shined honestly from this paddle. And up at the kitchen is where that control really shines. Resets and dinks were really easy. Even hitting some shots down there at the bottom, as most paddles have a dead spot down there, and where I feel like I hit the most resets whenever I'm in a firefight. I didn't feel the ball die at all, and I think like those softer shots is really where this paddle does its best. It's a lot more suited for up at the kitchen and the softer shots. Now onto the spin. The spin really impressed me. Like I said, I don't know if they tried something new on this at all with the face texture, but it feels like something's changed. Like I said, I've used the Fever 101. That was, my main paddle for about 3 months, and that paddle's pretty gritty, I'll give it to it, but this just has a different feel when it comes to spin. Top spin was just no problem to generate. It was super easy, and especially a lot of my slice shots, you could see the ball hit the ground and still spinning even after, a couple seconds after it had bounced, which was insane to me. I think that the spin on this is super reliable and won't have any problem with that. So now onto the sweet spot and forgiveness. So since it isn't elongated, it is going to have a smaller sweet spot, and I've been, super blessed to get a lot of paddles that are elongated and have big sweet spots. I don't think this one has a huge sweet spot off of the rip. Completely stock, it's definitely a little tight, and it might just be my play style and how I actually hit the ball, but in my own opinion, it just felt a little tight for me. But I did add a little bit of weight there on the sides. It's about 3 inches of 1 gram per inch tape, and that seemed to really help that a lot. Even after that, it did still feel a little tight. I might have to adjust the weight setup or add a little bit more. But overall, it doesn't have a crazy big sweet spot, but I think with some weight, you're able to broaden that and give yourself a little bit of, better sweet spot. Just really quick, gonna touch on the feel. The feel of the paddle is really good. It has very good responsiveness off the face. Whenever you hit the shot, you can tell exactly where you hit it. If you hit it in the off center, paddle's going to tell you, but if you hit it in the sweet spot, it's going to tell you as well. So it was very responsive, and I got a lot of feedback whenever I was hitting shots. And honestly, I think this paddle helped me a little bit because I've been blessed with big sweet spot paddles a lot lately. And this I kind of struggled with at first, but after a little bit, making sure that I was hitting it correctly and getting that feedback definitely improved my shots a lot. So now onto the pros and cons. Some pros of the paddle is it's very balanced. I think it has a very good balance of power and control, slightly leaning more towards the power category. It also has a foam core, so it's going to be a lot more durable than their other Gen 3 paddles that they've made in the past. Very gritty face and reliable spin. And then also those softer shots up at the kitchen feel really nice and are super easy to hit. Now onto the cons. So like I said earlier, some of the cons is just a little bit tighter sweet spot, and I don't see that as anything crazy negative, just because I'm not as good as I would want to be and hit the sweet spot every single time. But just in my own feel, in my own opinion, I just had a little bit tighter sweet spot. And also this paddle might take just a little bit of getting used to. Since it does, in my opinion, have a smaller sweet spot, I think getting used to that, if you play with something that has a big sweet spot, you might take a few games to get used to it and adjust over time. So who do I think this paddle is for? Honestly, that 3.0 to 4.0 level, I think this thing is great. It's a really good balanced paddle, and it's durable, so it's going to last you a while. It's going to help you improve over time, and even once you start climbing maybe to 4 or 5, I think this would still be good. But once you start getting into those higher levels, you might need a little bit more power. Placement over power every single time, but in my opinion, you might need a little bit more power once you start playing some better people. And I think that's where the Aura Pro is going to step in and fill that gap of where this paddle isn't able to. So some closing thoughts on the Friday Aura. I think it's a great pick It's a super balanced paddle, and especially like I said in that 3.0 to 4.5 range, I think this would be a phenomenal pickup, even if it's your, one of the first paddles you're getting, or if it's, an upgrade to something that you've been using for a while. I don't think that you would have a bad time playing with this paddle. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I think it's super balanced, and I think that's going to be the most important thing with most players when it comes to choosing a paddle. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the review today. If you would like to see any of the new shapes, the wide body or the hybrid of the Aura or the Aura Pro, please drop them down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Or if you've ever used the Aura or are looking into it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it or if you're excited about it. Always make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.